Cheyenne Mountain Operations Center. Watch log, Alpha Shift. Date, redacted. Watch officer, redacted. 3 hours 47 minutes and 23 seconds. Metallic taste getting worse. Third cup of coffee since 0200. Recycled air making everything taste like copper pennies. Fluorescent bank 7 still flickering. Maintenance said they'd fix it Tuesday. That was last week. 3 hours 47 minutes and 45 seconds. Console hum changed pitch again. Check board twice. All green. Temperature holding at 68.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity 42%. Within parameters. Everything within parameters. 3 hours 48 minutes and 12 seconds. Stratcom routine check. Cheyenne Mountain to Strategic Command. Authentication Bravo 7 Alpha. Should have gotten immediate response. Always do. 3 hours 48 minutes and 47 seconds. Still waiting. Console shows transmission sent. Frequency clear. Atmospheric conditions normal for January. No solar activity on the boards. Equipment functioning nominal. Check the logs. Always check the logs. 3 hours 49 minutes and 3 seconds. Last Stratcom contact logged at 0312:18. Routine weather update. Officer Kowalski's authentication. Standard stuff. Nothing irregular. Except Kowalski died 3 weeks ago. Skiing accident up at Keystone. 3 hours 49 minutes and 15 seconds. Reading that wrong. Has to be. Fatigue making me see things. Been pulling doubles since the December restructuring. Half the watch officers transferred to Offutt, other half to Peterson. Left us with skeleton crew and mandatory overtime since New Year's. 3 hours 49 minutes and 33 seconds. Double-checked personnel roster. Staff Sergeant Kowalski, James M., deceased January 3rd. Memorial service was the 8th. I signed the condolence card for his wife and 2 kids. So who authenticated our 0312 communication? 3 hours 50 minutes and 2 seconds. Emergency Communication Protocol, Section 12. In event of authentication discrepancy, immediately verify through secondary channels. Trying secondary now. Cheyenne Mountain to Strategic Command. Emergency authentication required. Respond on any channel. Static. Just static with that wet crackling sound the speakers make when the humidity gets high. 3 hours 50 minutes and 44 seconds. Primary board showing all communications equipment functioning. Self-diagnostic green across the board. But we're getting nothing from upstairs. Nothing from anywhere above ground level. Wait. 0351:17. Incoming transmission. Partial. Breaking up bad. Cheyenne Mountain. Immediate. Launch authorization. Authentication Tango 4. Repeat. Launch authorization. Lost it. Frequency went dead mid-transmission. 3 hours 51 minutes and 52 seconds. Authentication Tango 4 Charlie belongs to General Morrison, Strategic Command. Verified that in the roster. Problem is, the transmission cut before the final authenticator code. Protocol requires full authentication sequence for any launch-related orders. And Morrison's supposed to be in Brussels this week. NATO conference. 3 hours 52 minutes and 18 seconds. Standing orders are clear. DEFCON 2 maintained during communication blackouts. No launch authorization without complete authentication chain. But that partial message, if it was real, the manual's right here. Page 47, highlighted in yellow. Watch officers will maintain current defense condition during communications disruption. Launch authorization requires minimum 2 officer confirmation plus complete authentication sequence. Simple. Follow the book. 3 hours 52 minutes and 56 seconds. Except there's a margin note I never noticed before. Handwritten, looks like Kowalski's writing. Silent period greater than 15 minutes may indicate hostile jamming or equipment failure. Verify all authentication codes through backup systems immediately. When did he write that? Protocol says 15 minutes, but my training said. What did it say? Something about extended silence protocols, but I can't remember if it was 15 minutes or 20. Sleep deprivation playing tricks. 3 hours 53 minutes and 34 seconds. Backup communication array coming online. Takes 90 seconds to cycle through all strategic frequencies, another 30 to scan for emergency broadcasts. While it runs, checking maintenance logs again. Primary communication systems serviced last Tuesday, January 14th. Work order signed by Kowalski, James M. Same handwriting as the margin note. Same man we buried 6 days later. Either someone's forging signatures, or I'm losing my mind down here. 0354:12, backup scan complete. No traffic from Strategic Command, Peterson, Offutt, or any NORAD facilities. It's like the whole Strategic Command structure just stopped talking. But we did get something. Low-frequency transmission from an aircraft. Unscheduled. Flying patterns consistent with airborne command post. The voice was distorted but clear. All ground-based facilities are considered compromised. Maintain radio silence until further authentication. 3 hours, 54 minutes, and 47 seconds. Airborne Command has its own authentication codes. Different from ground-based. But I don't have those codes down here. They're kept at higher classification levels. So how do I know if that transmission was legitimate? How do I know any of this is legitimate? 3 hours, 55 minutes, and 23 seconds. The facility feels different tonight. Smaller somehow. Air circulation systems cycling more frequently. Fans spinning up every 3 minutes instead of the usual 5. Humidity's crept up to 44%, outside normal parameters. Been down here 6 years. Know every sound, every vibration, every electrical hum. The mountain has its rhythms. Tonight, something's disrupting them. 3 hours, 55 minutes, and 58 seconds. Personnel elevator just activated. Wasn't expecting anyone until Alpha shift ends at 0600. Security cameras show. Can't make it out. Too much interference on the monitors. Probably maintenance. Always maintenance fixing something that worked fine yesterday. 3 hours, 56 minutes, and 34 seconds. Personnel elevator activated. Security badge swipe logged at 0356:22, but the scanner's showing an error code. Invalid access attempt, then override authorization 12 seconds later. Elevator stopped at level 3, communications and data processing. Restricted access. Even my clearance doesn't reach up there. Except routine checks are logged in advance. Nothing on my board about any maintenance tonight. 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 2 seconds. Another partial transmission coming through. Authorization confirmed. Prepare for countdown sequence. Different voice this time. Not Morrison. Someone younger. Authentication code started with Delta, but the rest got swallowed by static. 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 45 seconds. Check the authentication roster again. Delta prefix belongs to Peterson Air Force Base, but we're not supposed to take launch orders from Peterson. Chain of command flows through Strategic Command only. Unless Strategic Command is actually down. Unless we're operating under emergency protocols I don't know about. 3 hours, 58 minutes, and 21 seconds. Standing orders are clear in Section 12A. Maintain DEFCON 2 during communication disruption. But Section 12B covers emergency launch authorization during command structure breakdown. 2 different protocols, potentially contradictory. Problem is determining which section applies when authentication codes keep coming from dead officers. 0358:53. Footsteps in the corridor outside. Steel-toed boots on metal decking, measured pace. Not the usual security patrol. They were soft soles down here to avoid acoustic interference with the monitoring equipment. Whoever's coming doesn't care about noise discipline. 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 16 seconds, doors opening. Someone's coming in. Not security. End watch log entry. Timestamp, 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 28 seconds. Status, communication blackout continues. Authentication, pending verification. Cheyenne Mountain Operations Center. Watch log, Alpha shift continued. Date, redacted. Watch officer, redacted. 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 34 seconds. Lieutenant Colonel Hartley. Didn't expect to see him until morning briefing. Still in dress uniform, shoes polished, like he came straight from somewhere official. Clipboard in hand, moving with purpose. Evening, watch officer. Need to review your communication logs. Not a request. Should have knocked first. Protocol requires it for active watch operations. But Hartley's been here longer than me. Knows the mountain's rhythms better than anyone. 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 47 seconds. Handed over the primary log. Kept secondary running on personal tablet. Old habit from training. Maintain redundant records during irregular situations. Hartley scanning entries, pen marking timestamps. His breathing's wrong, shallow, controlled. Like someone trying not to show stress. Been around enough officers to recognize suppressed panic. These authentication discrepancies, he says, tapping Kowalski's entries. Equipment malfunction. Happens during atmospheric interference. Except we're inside a mountain. Atmospheric interference doesn't reach down here. 4 hours and 12 seconds. Sir, about those authentication codes, Sergeant Kowalski died 3 weeks ago. His authorization shouldn't be in the system. Hartley stops writing. Looks at me with those pale gray eyes that earned him the nickname Ghost back when he was training watch officers. System updates lag behind personnel changes. You know that. Database synchronization issues. True enough. But database errors don't forge handwriting in margin notes. 4 hours and 44 seconds. Hartley's reviewing equipment logs now, cross-referencing maintenance schedules. Professional, methodical. Exactly what a good officer should do during communications blackout. But he's avoiding the authentication problem. Every time I mention inconsistent codes, he redirects to technical explanations. Equipment failure, atmospheric conditions, database synchronization. Meanwhile, copper taste is getting worse. Mouth feels like I've been chewing pennies. Stress response, maybe. Or something in the air circulation. 4 hours, 1 minute and 18 seconds. Sir, what's the current status of strategic command? My last contact was partial transmission, no complete authentication. Strategic command is operational. Temporary communication difficulties due to solar storm activity. Should be resolved within the hour. Solar activity boards have been quiet all night. Checked them twice since the blackout started. Hartley knows I can see those displays from here. So why is he lying? 4 hours, 1 minute and 56 seconds. Asked about the airborne command post transmission. Hartley's jaw tightens, barely visible, but I caught it. No authorized airborne operations in this sector tonight. What you received was probably atmospheric bounce from training exercises over Nevada. Nevada training exercises don't use strategic command authentication protocols. They use different frequencies, different codes, different everything. Starting to think Hartley didn't come down here to help with the communication problem. 4 hours, 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Air circulation system cycling again. Third time in 10 minutes, way above normal frequency. Humidity creeping up to 46%. Outside parameters, but not by much. Hartley notices too, keeps glancing at the environmental controls. Whatever's happening up on level 3, it's affecting the whole facility's atmospheric balance. Maintenance is working on the HVAC system, he says before I ask. Should be back to normal soon. Except maintenance schedules show no HVAC work tonight. And if they were working on it, we'd have had advance notice for operational security. 4 hours, 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Hartley's clipboard has authentication codes written on it. Can see them when he turns pages, Delta 74, Tango 4 Charlie, others I don't recognize. But authentication codes aren't supposed to be written down. Basic security protocol. They're memorized, transmitted verbally, never documented in hard copy format. Unless someone needs a reference sheet, because they're not the real authorized user. 4 hours, 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Sir, I need to verify current DEFCON status with Strategic Command directly. Standing orders require confirmation during extended blackouts. Hartley sets down his clipboard, looks at me with those ghost pale eyes. Watch officer, DEFCON status is need to know. Your need is to maintain current posture and log communications traffic. Nothing more. That's wrong. Watch officers always have access to current DEFCON status. It's fundamental to our operational authority. 4 hours, 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Something's happening on level 3. Can feel vibrations through the mountain. Machinery running that shouldn't be active during normal operations. Heavy equipment, multiple units, coordinated movement. Hartley feels it too. Keeps checking his watch, like he's expecting something at a specific time. Sir, what's the operational status on level 3? Classified above your clearance level. My clearance level covers everything in this facility except nuclear material storage and executive communications. Been vetted for 6 years of watch duty, trusted with strategic defense authorization. But suddenly I don't have clearance to know what's happening 3 floors up. 4 hours, 4 minutes and 34 seconds. Emergency Manual, page 62. During command structure uncertainty, watch officers will maintain detailed records of all personnel interactions, authentication attempts, and operational anomalies. Started new log file on personal tablet. Backdating entries to 0347 when the blackout began. If something's wrong here, someone needs documentation. Hartley's watching me type. Suspicious now, not just stressed. 4 hours, 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Incoming transmission again. Same distorted voice from before. All ground facilities maintain current posture. Launch authorization pending strategic review. Authentication will be provided through proper channels. Hartley moves toward the communication panel fast, like he wants to respond. But watch officers handle all communications traffic, not visiting officers, regardless of rank. Sir, I'll take that transmission. Negative. That communication is above your clearance level. Above my clearance level? I'm the designated communication officer for strategic defense operations. There is no higher clearance for this position. 4 hours, 5 minutes, and 43 seconds. Hartley's on the communication panel now, using override codes I don't recognize. Talking to someone, voice low, can't make out words over the equipment hum. But I can see his lips moving. Operational timeline, watch officer, contained. Timeline for what operation? And why do I need to be contained? 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 21 seconds. Taste of copper pennies getting stronger. Not stress response, something in the air. Chemical tang underlying the metallic flavor, like cleaning solvent or industrial lubricant. Check the air quality monitors. CO2 levels normal, oxygen normal, no detected contaminants. But the sensors might not catch everything. Whatever maintenance is happening on level 3, it's affecting the atmospheric systems down here. 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 48 seconds. Hartley ends his transmission, turns back to me. Different expression now, harder, more focused. Watch officer, I'm relieving you of duty for the remainder of Alpha Shift. Report to quarters immediately. Sir, standing orders don't permit early relief during communication blackouts. 2 officer minimum for all strategic operations. These are emergency orders, superseding standing protocols. Emergency orders require written authorization from facility commander. Hartley doesn't have paperwork. 4 hours, 7 minutes, and 15 seconds. Sir, I need to see the written authorization for early relief. Hartley's hand moves to his sidearm. Not drawing it, just resting on the grip. Message clear enough. Watch officer, you're relieved. Report to quarters now. Standard issue M9 Beretta. 15 rounds chambered. Range of 12 feet between us. He's trained, I'm not. But I'm still the designated watch officer for strategic defense operations. My authority comes from National Command Authority, not from Lieutenant Colonel Hartley. 4 hours, 7 minutes, and 52 seconds. Sir, with respect, I cannot abandon my watch station during active communication blackout. Regulations are explicit about maintaining continuous operations. Hartley draws his weapon. Doesn't point it at me, just holds it ready. Final warning, watch officer. Report to quarters immediately. The regulations are clear, but so is the M9 Beretta. 4 hours, 8 minutes, and 21 seconds, moving toward the door, but slowly. Keep my hands visible, non-threatening. Professional demeanor maintained. But I'm not going to quarters. Going to secondary communication station on level 1. Independent systems, different authentication protocols, direct connection to emergency broadcast network. If Hartley's running some kind of operation, he doesn't control the whole facility. 4 hours, 8 minutes, and 49 seconds. Corridor outside Operations Center is different tonight. Emergency lighting active instead of standard fluorescence. Casts everything in red shadows, makes the metal walls look like dried blood. Never seen emergency lighting activated without facility-wide alert. Either we're under attack or someone's testing systems without authorization. Neither explanation makes me feel better. 4 hours, 9 minutes, and 17 seconds. Secondary stairwell down to level 1. Steel steps echo different tonight. Hollow sound, like the air pressures changed throughout the facility. Mountain feels smaller. Compressed. Halfway down, another vibration through the rock. Heavy machinery moving on level 3, definitely multiple units. Coordinated operation, not maintenance. Whatever's happening up there, it's big enough to shake a mountain. 4 hours, 9 minutes, and 44 seconds. Level 1 corridor access door sealed. Electronic lock showing red status, restricted access, authorization required. But I have authorization. Been using this corridor for 6 years, know every access code, every security protocol. Try my badge again. Scanner beeps, flashes red. Access denied, see facility security. Someone's changed my clearance level. Locked me out of sections I've accessed daily for years. 4 hours, 10 minutes, and 12 seconds. Emergency communication panel in the stairwell. Old system, independent of main operations center. Used for evacuation procedures and facility lockdown protocols. Try calling facility security for access clarification. Should get immediate response. Security operates 24/7 monitoring. Get recorded message. All security personnel are currently engaged in operational activities. Leave detailed message after tone. Security never leaves monitoring unmanned. Even during shift change, someone stays on duty. 4 hours, 10 minutes, and 41 seconds. Try Peterson Air Force Base on emergency channel. Should reach duty officer immediately. Static. Same wet crackling sound I heard in operations center. Try strategic command emergency frequency. Nothing. Try NORAD emergency backup channel. Nothing. Either every strategic defense facility in North America has simultaneous communication failures, or someone's jamming our transmissions. 4 hours, 11 minutes, and 9 seconds. Back up the stairwell toward operations center. Need to confront Hartley about facility lockdown. Demand explanation for security changes. But voices in the corridor above. Multiple people, coordinated movement. Boot steps on metal decking, equipment being moved. Hide in stairwell, listen through door crack. 4 hours, 11 minutes, and 36 seconds. Can make out 3 voices, maybe 4. Hartley's giving orders. Timeline accelerated. Watch officer more suspicious than expected. Proceed with phase 2 immediately. Someone responds. Communication blackout holding steady. Ground facilities isolated. Airborne operations ready for authentication. Third voice. Package delivery complete level 3. Systems integration in progress. Package delivery? Systems integration? What kind of maintenance requires package delivery and systems integration at 0400 hours? 4 hours, 12 minutes, and 3 seconds. Fourth voice, unfamiliar. How long until the watch officer becomes a problem? Hartley, contained for now. Secondary lockdown will handle the situation permanently. Secondary lockdown. Never heard that term in facility protocols. Sounds like they're planning to seal me inside the mountain. 4 hours, 12 minutes, and 31 seconds. Footsteps moving away from operations center, heading toward level 3 access. Equipment being wheeled down corridor, metallic rattling, electrical hum, coordinated by multiple personnel. Whatever they're installing on level 3, it's not routine maintenance. And they definitely don't want me around to see it. 4 hours, 12 minutes, and 58 seconds. Wait 10 minutes, then head back to operations center. Door still open, facility systems still active. But console displays have changed. Communication status showing normal operations instead of blackout condition. DEFCON status showing classified instead of standard display. Someone's altered the primary operational interface. Made it look like everything's normal when communications are still dead. 4 hours, 13 minutes, and 24 seconds. Check personal tablet log. Still running, still recording. But primary computer system shows no record of communication blackout, no authentication errors, no irregularities. Someone's edited the official records in real time, erasing evidence of tonight's problems while they're happening. Professional job. Sophisticated access to core systems, detailed knowledge of operational protocols, coordination across multiple facility levels. This isn't equipment failure or atmospheric interference. This is an inside operation. 4 hours, 13 minutes, and 52 seconds. Try one more communication attempt on personal equipment. Bypass primary systems entirely. Use emergency handheld radio with independent antenna. Static, but different quality. Background noise includes electronic interference, regular pulses, artificial pattern. Active jamming. Professional grade, military specification, broad spectrum coverage. Someone spent serious money and planning to isolate this facility from outside communication. 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 20 seconds. Copper tastes stronger than ever. Chemical tang now identifiable. Industrial cleaning agent mixed with ozone. Like electrical equipment overheating under heavy load. Check environmental monitors again. Still reading normal, but the sensors might be compromised along with everything else. Trust my senses over the instruments. Something in the air is wrong, getting worse, and the monitoring systems either can't detect it or won't report it. 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 47 seconds. Vibration through the mountain again. Heavier this time, rhythmic pattern like machinery cycling through operational sequences. Testing procedures. Whatever they installed on level 3, they're running diagnostics now. And whatever it is, it's big enough to shake solid rock. 4 hours, 15 minutes, and 15 seconds. Hartley returns to operations center. Different uniform now, field gear instead of dress blues. Combat boots, utility vest, sidearm and tactical holster. Still here, watch officer? Sir, this is my assigned duty station. Standing orders require continuous operations during communication blackout. There is no communication blackout. Points to console displays showing normal status. All communications are operating normally. Your shift ends at 0600 as scheduled. Official records now match his statement. Computer logs show continuous normal operations, no authentication errors, no equipment failures. 4 hours 15 minutes and 43 seconds. Sir, my personal log shows different information. Hartley holds out his hand. Personal logs are unauthorized during security operations. Turn over all recording devices immediately. Personal tablets aren't unauthorized. Been using them for backup documentation for 6 years. Never had security objections. But Hartley's not making a request. 4 hours 16 minutes and 11 seconds. Hand over the tablet reluctantly. Watch him delete files, remove memory card, destroy physical evidence of tonight's irregularities. Watch officer, you're experiencing stress-related disorientation. Common during extended shifts and sleep deprivation. Report to medical for evaluation. Medical evaluation. During active duty. Without cause or authorization. That's involuntary psychiatric hold. Once medical marks me as unstable, I lose security clearance, lose access to facility operations, lose credibility for any reports about tonight's activities. 4 hours 16 minutes and 39 seconds. Sir, I respectfully decline medical evaluation. I'm fit for duty and request to complete my assigned shift. Hartley signals someone in the corridor. 2 personnel enter, security uniforms, weapons ready, faces I don't recognize. Watch officer, you're relieved of duty for medical evaluation. These officers will escort you to the medical facility. Medical facility is on level 2. Once they get me down there, I won't be coming back to operations center. 4 hours 17 minutes and 7 seconds. Try to reach emergency communication panel one more time. Security personnel move to block access, hands on weapons. Sir, I need to log my relief of duty with proper authority. Standing protocols require. Standing protocols are suspended during security operations. Security operations. First time he's admitted tonight's activities aren't routine maintenance. 4 hours 17 minutes and 34 seconds. Security personnel approaching. Professional posture, coordinated movement, weapons ready but not threatening. Yet, but I'm still the designated watch officer for strategic defense operations. My authority comes from National Command Authority, not from facility security. And National Command Authority doesn't know what's happening inside this mountain tonight. 4 hours 18 minutes and 2 seconds. Sir, before I'm relieved, I need clarification on current DEFCON status and strategic readiness level. Hartley checks his watch again. Whatever timeline he's following, it's moving toward some critical point. DEFCON 2, strategic readiness normal. All information need-to-know basis. DEFCON 2 during communication blackout with authentication failures and facility lockdown. Either he's lying about strategic readiness or lying about the blackout conditions. 4 hours 18 minutes and 28 seconds. One of security personnel steps forward. Name tape reads Kowalski. Same name as the dead sergeant whose authentication code started tonight's problems. Same handwriting on the margin notes. Same man we buried 3 weeks ago. Except he's standing 6 feet away from me, very much alive, wearing current security credentials. 4 hours 18 minutes and 56 seconds. Sergeant Kowalski. Thought you died in a skiing accident. He doesn't respond. Doesn't even acknowledge the question. Professional demeanor, focused on escort duty. But his eyes are wrong. Not the expression of someone who's heard a ridiculous mistake about their death. Expression of someone who knows exactly what I'm talking about and doesn't like it. 4 hours 19 minutes and 23 seconds. Hartley intervenes before I can ask more questions. Watch officer, report for medical evaluation immediately. These officers will ensure your safe arrival. Safe arrival. Not standard escort language. More like prisoner transport terminology. End watch log entry. Timestamp. 4 hours 19 minutes and 47 seconds. Status. Relieved of duty. Medical evaluation. Authentication. Authority disputed. Continuing record on backup systems. 4 hours 20 minutes and 15 seconds. Corridor toward medical facility. Emergency lighting still active. Red shadows making everything look like dried blood. Security escort maintaining professional distance, weapons ready but not drawn. Sergeant Kowalski, dead man walking, stays exactly 3 feet behind my left shoulder. Perfect tactical positioning for prisoner control. His partner maintains overwatch from the front, checking sight lines, monitoring facility systems. Standard security protocols for escorting potentially dangerous personnel. Except I'm not dangerous. Just a watch officer who noticed too many inconsistencies in tonight's operation. 4 hours 20 minutes and 43 seconds, medical facility door ahead. Once they get me inside, psychiatric evaluation begins. Stress-related disorientation, sleep deprivation, paranoid ideation about dead colleagues. Easy enough to document, especially when the documentation will be prepared by the same people running tonight's operation. But there's still the emergency communication panel near medical reception. Independent system, different authorization protocols. One last chance to contact outside authority before they lock me away. 4 hours 21 minutes and 11 seconds, 20 feet from medical facility. Kowalski closes distance, hand moving toward restraint equipment. His partner opens medical door, checking interior for clearance. Now or never. Sprint toward emergency communication panel. Behind me, shouts from security personnel, boots on metal decking, weapons being drawn. Panel requires authentication badge plus verbal authorization code. Have both muscle memory from 6 years of training. 4 hours 21 minutes and 38 seconds. Authentication accepted, panel active. Emergency broadcast channel open to NORAD command authority. Mayday, 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 this is Cheyenne Mountain Operations. Unauthorized personnel have compromised facility security. Repeat, facility security compromised, authentication codes corrupted. Requesting immediate. Gunshot behind me. Warning shot, high and right, designed to get attention without causing casualties. Yet, 4 hours 21 minutes and 52 seconds. Watch officer, step away from communication panel immediately. Kowalski's voice. First time he's spoken tonight. Accent's wrong, sounds like he's from somewhere south, maybe Texas or Oklahoma. Real Kowalski was from Wisconsin, talked like a cheese commercial. Whoever this is, he's not Sergeant James M. Kowalski, deceased January 3rd, survived by wife and 2 children. 4 hours 22 minutes and 19 seconds. Who are you? Step away from the communication panel. Final warning. Not answering the question. Because he can't. Because the real answer would confirm everything I've suspected about tonight's operation. But I've got the emergency channel open. Someone's listening. Someone outside this mountain knows there's a problem. 4 hours 22 minutes and 47 seconds. NORAD Command Authority. This is Cheyenne Mountain Operations. We have personnel using false identities. Facility lockdown without authorization. Communication blackout with external jamming. Requesting immediate assistance and verification of. Second gunshot. Closer this time, left of the panel, sparks from damaged electronics. They're not trying to stop me from talking. They're trying to destroy the communication equipment. 4 hours 23 minutes and 14 seconds. Emergency channel still active, transmission still going out. But panels taking damage, display flickering, audio quality degrading. False authentication codes from deceased personnel. Facility compromised at multiple levels. Unknown operation in progress. Timeline accelerated due to watch officer complications. Third gunshot. Direct hit on communication panel. Electronics die, display goes black, transmission ends. But maybe someone heard enough. Maybe someone outside knows there's a problem inside Cheyenne Mountain. 4 hours 23 minutes and 41 seconds. Turn around, hands visible, non-threatening posture. Security personnel have weapons drawn, trained on center mass, professional shooting stance. Behind them, Hartley approaches with medical personnel. Sedation equipment ready, restraint gear, psychiatric evaluation forms already prepared. Watch officer, you're experiencing acute paranoid episode brought on by sleep deprivation and operational stress. Medical evaluation will determine appropriate treatment. Appropriate treatment: indefinite psychiatric hold, security clearance revocation, permanent removal from facility operations, and convenient amnesia about tonight's activities. 4 hours 24 minutes and 8 seconds. Medical personnel approaching with sedative injection. Once they get that into my system, evaluation becomes academic. But they need my cooperation for safe injection procedure. If I resist, they'll have to use force, and force leaves evidence. Evidence they probably don't want in medical records. 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 36 seconds. Dr. Reeves, before you sedate me, I need to know, what's the legal authorization for involuntary psychiatric evaluation? Medical officer stops, looks at Hartley, waiting for guidance. Patient is presenting acute paranoid symptoms, potentially dangerous to self and facility operations. Involuntary hold is medically indicated, but Dr. Reeves is looking uncertain. Medical ethics require clear evidence of immediate danger for involuntary treatment. Asking about authentication codes and communication problems doesn't qualify as immediate danger. 4 hours, 25 minutes, and 3 seconds. Doctor, what specific symptoms am I presenting that indicate immediate danger? You're experiencing delusions about deceased personnel and false communications. What false communications? The emergency broadcast I just sent. Reeves looks at the destroyed communication panel, then at Hartley. The communication panel is damaged. Yes, they shot it to stop my transmission to NORAD Command Authority. Now Reeves is really uncomfortable. Medical ethics conflict with security orders. 4 hours, 25 minutes, and 31 seconds. Hartley intervenes before medical officer can ask more questions. Doctor, the patient is clearly delusional. Immediate sedation is required for everyone's safety, but Reeves is shaking his head. I need to document specific behavioral indicators before proceeding with involuntary treatment. Medical ethics require. Medical ethics are superseded by facility security requirements. Wrong answer. Military medical officers take oath to medical ethics first, security requirements second. 4 hours, 25 minutes, and 58 seconds, Dr. Reeves steps back, lowering sedation equipment. I cannot proceed with involuntary psychiatric treatment without proper documentation of immediate danger. The patient appears oriented and rational, despite experiencing operational stress. Hartley's jaw tightens. Timeline pressure again. Whatever operation is running on level 3. Doctor, this is a direct order. Sedate the patient immediately. Sir, I cannot comply with orders that violate medical ethics. Professional standoff. Medical authority versus security authority. Ethical obligations versus operational requirements. 4 hours, 26 minutes, and 25 seconds. Hartley signals security personnel. They move to restrain Dr. Reeves along with me. Both of you are interfering with facility security operations. You'll be confined until the situation is resolved. Now it's 2 witness problems instead of 1. Medical officer and watch officer, both asking inconvenient questions. But also 2 people who know something's wrong, instead of just 1 isolated crazy person. 4 hours, 26 minutes, and 52 seconds. Dr. Reeves looks at me, then at Hartley, understanding dawning. What situation needs to be resolved? What security operation requires imprisoning facility personnel? Classified information, Doctor. Need to know basis. I have need to know for any operation affecting medical personnel and patient care. True enough. Medical officer has broader access authority than watch officers for situations involving personnel welfare. 4 hours, 27 minutes, and 19 seconds. Hartley checks his watch again. Timeline pressure building. Both of you will be confined to secure quarters until operational objectives are complete. Approximately 6 hours. 6 hours. Whatever's happening on level 3, it concludes around 1,030 hours. Dawn operations, coordinated with external activities, probably involving the mysterious airborne command post. 4 hours, 27 minutes, and 46 seconds. Security personnel moving to escort both of us towards secure quarters. Weapons still drawn, professional tactical formation. But now there are 2 problems instead of 1. Medical officer asking questions about ethics. Watch officer asking questions about operations. And both of us trained to notice inconsistencies, document irregularities, follow proper protocols. 4 hours, 28 minutes, and 14 seconds. Corridor towards secure quarters passes through facility communications hub. Bank of monitors showing external communications traffic, satellite feeds, facility security cameras. All displays show normal operations. No indication of communication blackout. No evidence of security problems, no documentation of tonight's irregularities. Professional counterintelligence operation. Real-time record manipulation, coordinated across multiple systems, designed to erase evidence while events are happening. 4 hours, 28 minutes, and 41 seconds. But 1 monitor catches my attention. External security camera showing level 3 access area. Personnel in hazmat suits unloading equipment from unmarked vehicles. Industrial containers, electronic devices, materials handling equipment. Not maintenance, not routine operations. Installation of unknown systems requiring hazardous materials protection. 4 hours, 29 minutes, and 8 seconds. Dr. Reeves sees it too. Medical training makes him focus on hazmat procedures. What materials require that level of protective equipment? Security personnel try to block view of monitors, but we've both seen enough. Industrial containers marked with radiation symbols. Electronic equipment consistent with nuclear materials handling. Personnel in full protective gear following strict decontamination protocols. 4 hours, 29 minutes, and 36 seconds. Hartley notices our attention to the monitors. Routine maintenance on radiation detection systems. Standard safety protocols. But radiation detection systems don't require industrial containers or hazmat installation procedures. And they certainly don't require unmarked vehicles or middle-of-night operations. Dr. Reeves, medical training in radiation safety. Those containers are too large for detection system components. And the protective equipment indicates materials far more hazardous than detector calibration sources. 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 3 seconds. Hartley's running out of plausible explanations. Doctor, you're not qualified to assess radiation safety procedures. I'm the facility medical officer. I'm specifically qualified to assess any procedures involving radiation exposure to facility personnel. True, medical officer has override authority for radiation safety, even above security operations. If Dr. Reeves demands radiation safety review, Hartley legally cannot proceed without medical clearance. 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 31 seconds. I'm invoking medical authority for radiation safety assessment. All operations involving nuclear materials must be cleared through medical for personnel protection. Perfect. Medical officer using proper authority to halt operations pending safety review. Hartley's timeline just got disrupted by legitimate medical intervention. 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 58 seconds. But Hartley's not backing down. Medical authority is suspended during security operations. Medical authority for radiation safety cannot be suspended. That's federal regulation, not facility policy. Dr. Reeves knows the rules. Medical officer has absolute authority for radiation safety, regardless of security considerations. 4 hours, 31 minutes, and 25 seconds, standoff. Medical authority versus security operations, federal radiation safety regulations versus facility security requirements. But Hartley's timeline is running. Whatever's happening on level 3 needs completion by dawn. And now he's got 2 trained personnel asking questions he can't answer. 4 hours, 31 minutes, and 53 seconds, Hartley makes a decision. Signal security personnel. They raise weapons, targeting both Dr. Reeves and me. Both of you are threats to facility security. You'll be confined indefinitely. Not medical evaluation anymore. Not temporary detention. Indefinite confinement. Which sounds like permanent silence. End backup log entry. Timestamp. 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 20 seconds. Status, underarm detention. Authentication, authority revoked. Location, Facility Communications Hub. Record continues on Emergency Backup Systems. Cheyenne Mountain Operations Center. Emergency Backup Log, System Override. Date, redacted. Watch Officer, redacted. Recording Device, Concealed Emergency Transponder. 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 20 seconds. Armed detention. Dr. Reeves and I flanked by security personnel, weapons trained center mass, professional execution stance. But they're hesitating. Shooting facility personnel creates documentation problems, bodies require explanation, medical officer disappearance triggers automatic investigation protocols. Hartley checking his watch every 30 seconds now. Whatever timeline he's following, we've disrupted it significantly. Dawn operations can't proceed with witness problems unsolved. 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 47 seconds, Dr. Reeves, voice steady despite gun barrels. Lieutenant Colonel, I'm invoking Emergency Medical Protocol 7 Alpha. Any facility operation involving radiation exposure requires immediate medical assessment and personnel evacuation procedures. Protocol 7 Alpha. Never seen it used, but medical officers train for radiation emergencies. Gives Dr. Reeves override authority for facility evacuation, supersedes security operations. Hartley's jaw muscle twitching. Another legitimate procedural challenge he can't dismiss without admitting the operation is outside normal authority. For hours 33 minutes and 14 seconds, medical protocols are suspended during security operations. Federal Regulation Title 10, Section 1074D. Military medical officers maintain independent authority for radiation safety assessment. Cannot be suspended by local commanders without written authorization from Surgeon General. Dr. Reeves knows his regulations. Medical authority for nuclear safety comes from higher up the chain than facility security. Hartley doesn't have Surgeon General authorization. Probably doesn't have authorization from anyone outside this mountain. For hours 33 minutes and 41 seconds, vibration through the rock again. Heavier, rhythmic, like massive machinery cycling through startup procedures. Whatever they installed on level 3, testing phase is complete. Moving to operational status. Hazmat teams were installing something nuclear-related. Something big enough to shake a mountain, requiring industrial containers and full protective equipment. Not detection systems, not maintenance equipment. Something that generates radiation, not just detects it. For hours 33 minutes and 58 seconds. What's the operational purpose of the level 3 installation? Hartley, classified above your clearance level. Dr. Reeves, medical clearance includes any operation affecting personnel radiation exposure. What's the nature of the nuclear materials being handled? That information is need to know. I need to know for medical safety assessment. Federal regulation requires medical officer awareness of all radiation sources in facility. For hours 34 minutes and 35 seconds, security personnel getting nervous. Weapons still trained on us, but they're looking at each other, looking at Hartley, waiting for clear orders. Professional soldiers know the difference between legitimate security operations and illegal detention of facility personnel. They're trained to follow orders, but also trained to recognize unlawful commands. Confining medical officer during radiation emergency violates multiple federal regulations. They know it, Hartley knows it, everyone knows it. For hours 34 minutes and 52 seconds, emergency lights flicker. Power fluctuation throughout facility, probably from whatever machinery they're running on level 3. Electrical systems struggling under load they weren't designed to handle. Copper tastes stronger than ever. Metallic tang mixed with ozone, like electrical equipment overheating. But now there's something else, bitter chemical flavor, like industrial cleaning agent. Dr. Reeves notices too. Medical training makes him focus on environmental hazards. Air quality is degraded. Chemical contamination consistent with industrial solvent exposure. For hours 35 minutes and 19 seconds, check emergency air quality monitor on corridor wall. Still reading normal parameters, but sensor might be compromised like everything else tonight. Trust senses over instruments. Something in the air is wrong, getting worse, and it's not just stress response. Industrial chemicals, electrical ozone, metallic particles. Like someone's running heavy manufacturing processes inside the mountain. Or nuclear materials processing. For hours 35 minutes and 46 seconds, Dr. Reeves. I'm detecting chemical exposure signs. Metallic taste, electrical ozone, industrial solvent vapors. Consistent with nuclear materials handling or enrichment processes. Nuclear enrichment. That would require industrial containers, hazmat procedures, massive electrical systems, dawn timeline for completion. And it would explain why they need facility personnel eliminated. Witnesses to unauthorized nuclear operations. For hours 36 minutes and 13 seconds, Hartley's radio crackles. Voice from level 3. Phase 2 complete. Systems integration successful. Ready for phase 3 on your authorization. Phase 3. Final phase probably. Dawn operations conclude with whatever they've been building all night. Hartley responds. Witness situation unresolved. Maintain holding pattern until containment complete. Containment. Not detention, not medical evaluation. Containment. Permanent solution to witness problems. For hours 36 minutes and 40 seconds, Dr. Reeves and I exchange glances. Both understanding the situation now. Not security operation, not facility maintenance. Unauthorized nuclear operation using Cheyenne Mountain as cover. Communication blackout to prevent outside awareness. Facility lockdown to control personnel. Systematic elimination of witnesses. Professional coup using nuclear materials as leverage. Take control of strategic defense facility. Process nuclear materials. Establish independent operational capability. 4 hours 37 minutes and 7 seconds. Security personnel still hesitating. Weapons ready, but no clear orders for dealing with 2 trained facility personnel who know federal regulations and proper procedures. They're soldiers, not assassins. Trained to follow legal orders, not execute American personnel inside secure facilities. But Hartley's timeline pressure building. Whatever Phase 3 involves, it can't wait much longer. 4 hours 37 minutes and 34 seconds. Sergeant, escort these personnel to secure confinement. Level 2 isolation cells. Isolation cells, designed for foreign intelligence personnel, suspected spies, enemy combatants. Not for facility personnel asking procedural questions. Once they get us down there, nobody will hear anything. Soundproof, isolated, no communication access. Perfect place for permanent solutions to witness problems. 4 hours 37 minutes and 51 seconds, Dr. Reeves. Under federal regulation, I cannot be confined without written medical assessment from independent medical authority. You don't have independent medical authority. True. Military medical officers can only be detained by other medical officers, not by security personnel. Another procedural protection Hartley can't legally override. But he's moved beyond legal procedures now. Timeline pressure, witness problems, nuclear operation requiring completion. 4 hours 38 minutes and 18 seconds. Doctor, you're interfering with national security operations. Confinement is necessary for operational security. What national security operations require unauthorized nuclear materials processing inside strategic defense facilities? Direct challenge. Dr. Reeves laying out exactly what we both understand about tonight's activities. Hartley's hand moves to sidearm. Not subtle anymore, not playing procedural games. 4 hours 38 minutes and 45 seconds. Emergency transponder in my pocket vibrating. Incoming signal, probably response to my earlier emergency transmission to NORAD Command Authority. But I can't access it without revealing the device, and revealing it means losing our last communication link to outside authority. Keep it concealed, hope the signal indicates someone outside knows there's a problem. 4 hours 39 minutes and 12 seconds, another vibration through the mountain. Different frequency, higher pitch, like machinery transitioning from startup to operational mode. Whatever they built on level 3, it's ready for Phase 3 activation. Nuclear materials processing, enrichment, weapons development. Something requiring dawn completion timeline and massive electrical systems. 4 hours 39 minutes and 39 seconds, Hartley's radio again. Timeline critical. Phase 3 authorization required within 30 minutes for dawn completion. 30 minutes. 0510 hours deadline. Whatever they're building, it needs completion before facility personnel arrive for morning shift. Before outside monitoring notices facility irregularities. Before someone responds to my emergency transmission. 4 hours 40 minutes and 6 seconds. Lieutenant Colonel, what happens at dawn? No response. But his expression changes, focused, determined, like someone approaching critical decision point. Not just facility takeover anymore. Something bigger, requiring nuclear materials and dawn timeline. Demonstration. Proof of capability. Show of force using unauthorized nuclear devices. 4 hours 40 minutes and 33 seconds. Dr. Reeves, medical training focusing on worst-case scenarios. If you're processing weapons-grade materials, radiation exposure will affect entire facility personnel. Medical protocol requires immediate evacuation. No evacuation necessary. Facility personnel exposure is within acceptable parameters. Acceptable parameters. Not avoiding exposure, managing it. Like personnel exposure is part of the operational plan. Expendable personnel. Facility workers as cover for nuclear operation, then eliminated to prevent testimony. 4 hours and 41 minutes, security personnel exchanging glances again. Professional soldiers recognizing illegal orders, unauthorized operations, threats to American personnel. But also recognizing superior officer authority, chain of command, consequences of disobedience. Military discipline versus moral obligation. Follow orders versus protect innocent personnel. They're wavering. Not certain about authority, not comfortable with detention orders, not convinced about operational legitimacy. 4 hours 41 minutes and 27 seconds. Emergency transponder vibrating again. Longer pattern, like encrypted message transmission. Someone outside is trying to communicate. Maybe NORAD Command Authority, maybe Peterson Air Force Base, maybe Strategic Command. But I still can't access it without revealing the device. 4 hours 41 minutes and 54 seconds, Dr. Reeves. Sergeant, under military medical regulations, you cannot detain medical officer without independent medical authority. Are you prepared to violate federal regulations on orders from facility security? Direct challenge to security personnel, making them choose between following Hartley's orders and following federal regulations they're sworn to uphold. Leading sergeant looks uncertain, trained to follow orders, but also trained to recognize illegal commands. 4 hours 42 minutes and 21 seconds. Sergeant, detain both personnel immediately. That's a direct order. Sir, medical officer detention requires independent medical authorization. I don't have documentation of proper authority. Professional soldier following proper procedures. Won't execute orders without legal justification. Hartley's losing control of security personnel. Timeline pressure, procedural challenges, legitimate questions about authority. 4 hours 42 minutes and 48 seconds. Sergeant, operational security supersedes normal procedures. These personnel are threats to national security. Sir, what specific threat do they present? Classified information. Sir, I need non-classified justification for detention of facility personnel. Another procedural challenge. Security personnel need legitimate reasons for detaining American personnel inside secure facilities. 4 hours 43 minutes and 15 seconds. Hartley's radio crackling with increased urgency. Phase 3 critical timeline. Authorization required immediately. External monitoring detecting facility irregularities. External monitoring. Someone outside is noticing power fluctuations, communication blackout, unusual activity. My emergency transmission worked. Outside authority is investigating. 4 hours 43 minutes and 42 seconds. Lieutenant Colonel, external response to facility irregularities indicates my emergency transmission was received. Outside authority is investigating. Hartley's expression hardening. Timeline collapse, witness problems, external investigation. Whatever nuclear operation he's running, it's compromised by outside awareness. But 30 minutes to completion. Still time to finish phase 3 before external response arrives. 4 hours 44 minutes and 9 seconds, Dr. Reeves. If external authority is investigating, proper procedure is to cooperate fully with investigation, provide complete documentation, ensure personnel safety during inquiry. External authority doesn't have clearance for this operation. What operation requires clearance above Strategic Command and NORAD authority? Excellent question. What military operation inside Cheyenne Mountain requires clearance above Strategic Defense Command structure? Answer: none. No legitimate operation. 4 hours 44 minutes and 36 seconds. Security personnel recognizing the implications. Facility operation without Strategic Command authorization. Detention of personnel asking procedural questions. Nuclear materials processing without proper clearance. They're soldiers, not conspirators. Trained to protect American interests, not participate in unauthorized nuclear operations. Leading sergeant lowering his weapon slightly. Not targeting anymore, just ready position. 4 hours 44 minutes and 53 seconds. Sir, I need clarification on operational authority. What command structure authorized nuclear materials processing at this facility? That information is classified above your security level. Sir, facility security operations don't exceed my clearance level. I have clearance for all authorized activities at this facility. True. Security personnel have comprehensive facility clearance. If they don't know about the operation, it's not authorized through proper channels. 4 hours 45 minutes and 30 seconds. Hartley checking his watch constantly now. Timeline pressure building toward critical point. Whatever happens at dawn, it can't wait for proper authorization, can't wait for witness solutions, can't wait for procedural compliance. Nuclear demonstration scheduled for specific time, probably coordinated with external activities. Show of force requiring precise timing. 4 hours 45 minutes and 47 seconds. Emergency transponder vibrating steadily now. Long duration signal, probably continuous communication attempt from external authority. Someone outside is trying to establish contact, probably responding to my emergency transmission. Maybe incoming investigation team, maybe Strategic Command verification. But still can't access it without revealing the device. 4 hours 46 minutes and 14 seconds, Dr. Reeves. Lieutenant Colonel, if external monitoring is investigating facility irregularities, medical protocol requires full cooperation with investigation, immediate personnel safety assessment, complete documentation of all activities affecting personnel welfare. Medical protocols are suspended during security operations. Federal Regulation Title 10. Medical protocols for personnel safety cannot be suspended by local authority. Another procedural deadlock. Medical authority versus security operations, federal regulation versus facility orders. 4 hours 46 minutes and 41 seconds. Security personnel looking increasingly uncomfortable. Professional soldiers recognizing conflict between legal orders and proper procedures. Leading Sergeant. Sir, facility personnel detention without proper authorization creates legal liability for security personnel. I need written orders with clear justification. Hartley doesn't have written orders. Probably doesn't have authorization from anyone outside his immediate conspiracy. Operating without proper authority, improvising solutions to unexpected problems, running out of time for dawn deadline. 4 hours 47 minutes and 8 seconds. Sergeant, these are emergency orders during active security threat. Written documentation will be provided after threat resolution. Sir, what specific threat justifies detention of medical officer and watch officer? They're interfering with critical national security operations. What national security operations, sir? Circular logic. Can't explain the operations without revealing unauthorized activities. Can't justify detention without explaining the operations. 4 hours 47 minutes and 35 seconds. Another vibration through the mountain. Sustain this time, like machinery operating at full capacity instead of testing modes. Phase 3 activation. Nuclear materials processing at operational levels, probably final stages before dawn completion. Whatever they're building, it's almost ready. 4 hours 47 minutes and 52 seconds. Hartley's radio with final urgency. Phase 3 operational. Dawn timeline holding. External monitoring increasing. Recommend immediate witness containment. Witness containment. Not detention, not confinement. Elimination. Permanent solution before external investigation arrives. 4 hours 48 minutes and 19 seconds. Dr. Reeves and I understanding the situation completely now. Not security operation, not facility maintenance, not authorized activities. Unauthorized nuclear weapons development using Cheyenne Mountain as cover, scheduled for dawn completion, requiring elimination of all witnesses before external investigation. Professional conspiracy at highest levels, probably involving multiple facilities, coordinated nuclear capabilities outside normal command structure. 4 hours 48 minutes and 46 seconds, security personnel reaching decision point. Follow orders from questionable authority or protect facility personnel from unauthorized operations. Leading Sergeant. Sir, I cannot detain facility personnel without clear legal justification. Medical officer has override authority for radiation safety. Watch officer has legitimate concerns about procedural violations. Professional soldier choosing legal procedure over questionable orders. Hartley's losing control of security personnel, losing timeline control, losing operational control. 4 hours 49 minutes and 13 seconds. Sergeant, you're refusing direct orders during national security emergency. Sir, I'm following proper procedures for personnel detention. I need written authorization with specific justification. There's no time for written authorization. Sir, there's always time for proper procedures. Military discipline, professional standards, legal authority over personal loyalty. Security personnel trained to recognize legitimate orders from illegal commands. 4 hours 49 minutes and 40 seconds. Emergency transponder signal changing pattern. Short bursts, specific rhythm, like coded communication. Someone outside is sending specific instructions, probably response protocols, maybe coordination for incoming investigation. External authority is not just aware of problems, they're responding actively. 4 hours 50 minutes and 7 seconds. Hartley making final decision. Timeline critical, witness problems unresolved, external investigation incoming. Draws sidearm, targets Dr. Reeves first. Final solution to witness problems. But security personnel react immediately. Professional soldiers protecting facility personnel from unauthorized threat. Leading Sergeant. Sir, lower your weapon immediately. 4 hours 50 minutes and 34 seconds, standoff. Facility security officer threatening medical officer and watch officer. Security personnel protecting facility personnel from unauthorized threat. Military discipline breaking down under illegal orders. Improper authority. Threat to American personnel. But Hartley's beyond military discipline now. Timeline pressure. Operational requirements. Nuclear demonstration scheduled for dawn. 4 hours 50 minutes and 51 seconds. Sergeant, these personnel are threats to national security. Elimination is authorized under emergency protocols. Sir, no emergency protocols authorize elimination of facility personnel without proper judicial review. There's no time for judicial review. Sir, there's always time for proper procedures. Another deadlock. Emergency authority versus legal procedures. Operational requirements versus military justice. 4 hours 51 minutes and 18 seconds. Dr. Reeves, medical training in crisis management. Lieutenant Colonel, if you're under operational pressure from external authority, medical protocol provides stress counseling and administrative support. You don't have to proceed with unauthorized activities. Offering professional help instead of confrontation. Medical approach to crisis intervention. But Hartley's beyond crisis counseling. Nuclear operation scheduled for dawn. External monitoring increasing. Timeline critical. 4 hours 51 minutes and 45 seconds. Doctor, operational requirements supersede administrative procedures. What operational requirements justify nuclear weapons development without strategic command authorization? Direct confrontation. Dr. Reeves stating exactly what we all understand about tonight's activities. No more procedural discussions, no more authority questions. Nuclear weapons development. Inside strategic defense facility. Without authorization. 4 hours 52 minutes and 12 seconds. Security personnel exchanging final glances. Professional soldiers recognizing treason, unauthorized weapons development, threats to national security from within facility. Leading sergeant. Sir, nuclear weapons development without proper authorization is treason. I cannot support unauthorized nuclear operations. Military justice. Professional obligation to protect national security from internal threats. Security personnel choosing constitutional duty over facility chain of command. 4 hours 52 minutes and 39 seconds. Hartley realizing complete loss of operational control. Security personnel protecting facility personnel. External investigation incoming. Nuclear operation compromised. But dawn timeline still holding. 20 minutes to completion, whatever phase 3 involves. Still time to eliminate witnesses, complete nuclear demonstration, establish operational capability before external response. 4 hours 53 minutes and 6 seconds. Radio transmission from level 3. Phase 3 complete. Nuclear device operational. Dawn demonstration ready on your authorization. Nuclear device. Not materials processing, not enrichment, not development. Complete nuclear weapon inside Cheyenne Mountain, ready for demonstration at dawn. 4 hours 53 minutes and 33 seconds. Dr. Reeves. Nuclear device demonstration inside strategic defense facility endangers thousands of personnel. Medical authority requires immediate facility evacuation. No evacuation authorized. Federal regulation requires evacuation for nuclear weapons testing. This isn't testing. This is operational deployment. Operational deployment. Nuclear weapon inside Cheyenne Mountain, ready for actual use, not demonstration. 4 hours 53 minutes and 50 seconds. Security personnel understanding complete scope now. Not unauthorized development, not testing, not demonstration. Operational nuclear weapon inside strategic defense facility, controlled by unauthorized personnel, threatening facility destruction. Leading sergeant. Sir, nuclear weapon deployment without strategic command authorization endangers facility and all personnel. I'm declaring security emergency. 4 hours 54 minutes and 17 seconds. Security emergency declaration. Professional military procedure for threats to facility security from internal sources. Security personnel have authority to detain anyone threatening facility operations, including superior officers acting without proper authorization. Military justice superseding facility chain of command when national security is threatened. 4 hours 54 minutes and 44 seconds. Hartley's final decision. Timeline critical. Operational control lost. Security personnel opposing orders. But nuclear weapon operational. Dawn demonstration possible. Still chance to complete unauthorized operations. Security personnel are relieved of duty. I'm assuming direct operational control, not legal authority. Can't relieve security personnel without proper administrative process. For hours 55 minutes and 11 seconds, leading sergeant. Sir, you don't have authority to relieve facility security personnel. We're detaining you for security emergency investigation. Professional military procedure. Security personnel protecting facility from internal threats, including unauthorized superior officers. Constitutional duty over personal loyalty. National security over facility hierarchy. For hours 55 minutes and 38 seconds, Hartley raising weapon toward security personnel. Ready to shoot American soldiers to complete nuclear operation. But professional soldiers trained for combat situations, tactical superiority, coordinated response to armed threats. 2 security personnel, tactical positions, professional weapons training. 1 facility officer, operational stress, divided attention between timeline and threats. For hours 55 minutes and 55 seconds, gunshot. Not from Hartley. From security personnel, defensive response to armed threat against facility personnel. Professional soldiers protecting American personnel from unauthorized nuclear operations. For hours 56 minutes and 22 seconds, Hartley down, weapon dropped, radio scattered across corridor floor. Security personnel immediately securing scene, checking for additional threats, establishing perimeter control. Professional response to security emergency, constitutional duty fulfilled. 4 hours 56 minutes and 49 seconds. Emergency transponder accessible now. Check incoming messages from external authority. Multiple transmissions from NORAD Command Authority, Strategic Command, Peterson Air Force Base. Emergency response teams en route. Facility lockdown from external authority. Investigation teams preparing for immediate deployment. 4 hours 57 minutes and 16 seconds. Dr. Reeves accessing medical emergency protocols, radiation safety procedures, facility evacuation authorization. Nuclear weapon inside facility requires immediate personnel protection, external authority notification, emergency response coordination. Professional medical response to nuclear emergency. 4 hours 58 minutes and 43 seconds. Leading sergeant accessing facility security protocols, external communication authorization, emergency response coordination. NORAD Command Authority, this is Cheyenne Mountain Facility Security. Unauthorized nuclear operation contained, facility personnel secure, requesting immediate emergency response and investigation support. Professional military response to internal security threat. 4 hours 59 minutes and 10 seconds. Level 3 radio transmission continuing. Phase 3 complete. Awaiting authorization for dawn demonstration. Please respond. But no authorization coming. Operational control lost. Security emergency declared. External authority responding. Nuclear device operational but contained. Unauthorized personnel isolated. Facility security restored. 4 hours 59 minutes and 37 seconds. External monitoring increasing. Power signatures, communication analysis, facility assessment from outside authority. Investigation teams en route, probably arriving within hours. Emergency transponder showing continuous coordination between multiple command authorities. NORAD, Strategic Command, Pentagon, probably White House Situation Room. 0500:04, dawn timeline missed. Whatever demonstration was scheduled, operational requirements no longer met. Nuclear weapon inside facility contained by professional security personnel. Unauthorized operation terminated, external authority responding. But nuclear device still operational on level 3. Still requires emergency response, technical teams, disposal procedures. 5 hours and 31 seconds. Dr. Reeves coordinating medical emergency response for potential radiation exposure, personnel assessment, facility safety evaluation. Professional medical response to nuclear emergency, federal regulations properly followed. Security personnel coordinating facility security, external communication, investigation support. Professional military response to internal threat, constitutional duty fulfilled. 5 hours and 58 seconds. Emergency transponder showing external response timeline. Investigation teams arriving 0630 hours. Technical teams arriving 0700 hours. Nuclear emergency teams arriving 0730 hours. Executive authority briefing 0800 hours. Professional response to unauthorized nuclear operations inside strategic defense facility. 5 hours, 1 minute, and 25 seconds. Facility systems returning to normal operations. Emergency lighting cycling off, standard power systems stabilizing, communication channels reopening. But Level 3 still operational, nuclear device still active, unauthorized personnel still present. Emergency not over, just contained. Final entry. Timestamp 0:5:01:52. Status: Facility security restored. Nuclear emergency, active containment. External authority, responding. Professional military personnel protected facility from internal threat. Constitutional duty fulfilled. Nuclear weapon contained. Investigation proceeding. But questions remain. Scope of conspiracy. Other facility involvement. Authorization source. Operational purpose. Timeline significance. Dawn demonstration prevented. Facility personnel safe. National security preserved. End emergency log. Authentication. External authority confirmed. Classification. Nuclear emergency response. Cheyenne Mountain Operations Center. Emergency backup log. System override. Date. Redacted. Watch officer. Redacted. Recording device. Concealed emergency transponder. 5 hours, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Silence after gunshots still ringing in ears. Cordite smell mixing with metallic taste. Electrical ozone. That bitter chemical vapor from Level 3 operations. But different now, something burning, like overheated transformers. Leading Sergeant Martinez checking Hartley's pulse. Professional, thorough. Unconscious, non-fatal shoulder wound. Medical attention required. Dr. Reeves already moving with medical kit. Trauma training taking over despite everything. Pulse steady, bleeding controlled. He'll survive for questioning. Survive. After trying to eliminate facility personnel, detonate nuclear device, complete unauthorized weapons demonstration. Professional medical care for someone who just aimed a weapon at American personnel. That's what separates us from them. We follow proper procedures, even when they don't. 5 hours, 2 minutes, and 46 seconds. Emergency transponder fully accessible now. 3 hours of encrypted messages from external authority. Timeline of investigation response. Coordination between multiple command structures. But reading the messages, something's wrong. First transmission timestamp, 0127 hours. That's 20 minutes before I sent my emergency alert. 5 hours, 3 minutes, and 13 seconds. External authority knew about facility irregularities before I reported them. My emergency transmission wasn't the alert. It was confirmation of something they were already investigating. Scanning through message logs. 0115. Cheyenne Mountain Power signatures anomalous. 0121. Facility communication protocols disrupted. 0124. Strategic command authentication failures detected. 0127. Recommend immediate investigation deployment. They were monitoring facility operations in real time. Noticed irregularities before facility personnel did. 5 hours, 3 minutes, and 40 seconds. Dr. Reeves looking over my shoulder at transponder messages. Medical clearance gives him access to nuclear emergency protocols. External monitoring was comprehensive. Power consumption analysis, communication pattern recognition, personnel movement tracking. Comprehensive surveillance of strategic defense facility. Not standard monitoring, active intelligence gathering. Doctor, standard NORAD monitoring doesn't include real-time personnel tracking inside secure facilities. No, it doesn't. 5 hours, 4 minutes, and 7 seconds. Message log showing additional details. 0089. Facility personnel schedule modifications noted. 0094. Unusual equipment delivery patterns. 0101. Hazmat team deployment unscheduled. 0108. Level 3 access restricted without authorization. They were watching for hours before tonight. Watching personnel changes, equipment deliveries, access modifications. Watching for exactly what happened tonight. 5 hours, 4 minutes, and 34 seconds. Sergeant Martinez monitoring radio traffic from Level 3. Nuclear device still operational. Unauthorized personnel still active. Technical systems still running. Sir, Level 3 personnel are requesting new authorization for Dawn timeline. They don't know operational control changed. Dawn timeline. Still 15 minutes until 05:20 hours. Whatever demonstration was planned, technical requirements still met. Nuclear device operational, facility isolated, external monitoring comprehensive. Perfect conditions for nuclear weapons test, if someone wanted proof of capability. 5 hours, 4 minutes, and 51 seconds. Dr. Reeves checking radiation monitors throughout facility. Still reading normal, but sensors could be compromised like everything else tonight. Environmental readings suggest nuclear materials processing, not weapons deployment. Industrial radiation signatures, not weapons-grade concentrations. Processing, not complete weapons, not operational devices. Doctor, Level 3 transmission said nuclear device operational, ready for dawn demonstration. That could mean demonstration of processing capability, not actual weapons detonation. 5 hours, 5 minutes, and 28 seconds, reviewing Hartley's radio communications with Level 3. Technical terminology, operational phases, timeline requirements. But listening carefully to background sounds, machinery cycling, electrical systems, industrial equipment. Not weapons sounds, manufacturing sounds. Processing nuclear materials, not deploying finished weapons. 5 hours, 5 minutes, and 45 seconds. Emergency transponder receiving new transmission. Investigation teams delayed. Technical assessment required before facility entry. Radiation levels under evaluation. Delayed. External response teams not arriving on schedule. Sergeant, investigation teams were scheduled for 0630 arrival. Why delayed? Sir, radiation assessment indicates potential contamination risk. Technical teams need protective equipment. Radiation contamination from Level 3 operations. Nuclear materials processing creates contaminated environment, requires specialized response procedures. 5 hours, 6 minutes, and 12 seconds. Dr. Reeves checking his personal dosimeter. Readings elevated, but not dangerous. Consistent with industrial nuclear processing, not weapons-grade exposure. Radiation levels suggest uranium enrichment or plutonium processing. Industrial scale, not weapons manufacturing. Industrial scale, that requires massive equipment, sustained electrical power, weeks or months of preparation. Not something organized overnight. Not something improvised during single facility operation. 5 hours, 6 minutes, and 39 seconds. Accessing facility maintenance logs through emergency transponder. Cross-referencing equipment deliveries, personnel schedules, power consumption patterns. Level 3 modifications began 6 months ago. Gradual equipment installation, specialized personnel rotation, incremental power system upgrades. Not emergency operation. Systematic preparation for long-term nuclear materials processing. But whose authorization? What command structure approved 6 months of facility modifications without NORAD oversight? 5 hours, 7 minutes, and 6 seconds. Sergeant Martinez accessing security logs for Level 3 access authorization. Personnel clearances, equipment approvals, operational schedules. Sir, Level 3 authorization came from Strategic Command Special Operations Division. Compartmentalized clearance, need-to-know basis. Special Operations Division. Exists for classified projects requiring isolation from standard command structure. Legitimate authority for nuclear research, weapons development, strategic materials processing. Sergeant, did Hartley have Special Operations clearance? Checking. No, sir. Lieutenant Colonel Hartley's clearance limited to facility security operations. No Special Operations authorization. 5 hours, 7 minutes, and 33 seconds. Wrong authority level. Hartley was facility security, not special operations. Didn't have clearance for nuclear materials processing. Didn't have authorization for Level 3 operations. But he was coordinating with Level 3 personnel, controlling operational timeline, managing security for nuclear processing. Someone gave him operational control without proper authority. Someone outside facility chain of command, outside NORAD structure, outside strategic command oversight. 5 hours, 7 minutes, and 50 seconds. Dr. Reeves accessing medical clearance for Special Operations Division personnel. Current assignments, operational schedules, facility authorizations. Special Operations personnel assigned to Level 3 operations are legitimate. Proper clearances, authorized assignments, medical assessments current. Legitimate personnel. Proper authorization. Legal nuclear materials processing. But coordinating with unauthorized facility security officer. Following timeline without strategic command oversight. Requesting elimination of facility personnel asking procedural questions. 5 hours, 8 minutes, and 27 seconds. Emergency transponder receiving priority transmission. Strategic command authentication. Level 3 operations authorized under Special Operations Division Protocol 77 Alpha. Facility personnel interference not authorized. Investigate security irregularities. Protocol 77 Alpha. Never heard of it, but Special Operations uses classified protocols for compartmentalized projects. But facility personnel interference not authorized suggests we weren't supposed to know about Level 3 operations. Compartmentalized project requiring isolation from facility personnel, including watch officers and medical staff. 5 hours, 8 minutes, and 54 seconds. Dr. Reeves reading medical protocols for compartmentalized nuclear operations. Personnel isolation requirements, security procedures, medical oversight limitations. Protocol 77 Alpha requires complete isolation of nuclear processing from facility personnel. Medical oversight limited to Special Operations medical officers. Complete isolation. No facility personnel involvement, no standard security oversight, no medical assessment from facility medical staff. That's why Hartley wanted us eliminated. Not conspiracy, not unauthorized operations. Unauthorized knowledge of authorized operations. 5 hours, 9 minutes, and 21 seconds. Sergeant Martinez checking security protocols for compartmentalized operations. Personnel access restrictions, information control procedures, security isolation requirements. Sir, compartmentalized operations require elimination of unauthorized knowledge. Personnel with uncleared access to classified information must be contained. Contained. Not eliminated, not murdered. Contained until proper security assessment, debriefing procedures, classification review. But Hartley interpreted containment as elimination. Security officer exceeding authority, misunderstanding protocols, threatening facility personnel without proper authorization. 5 hours, 9 minutes, and 48 seconds. Level 3 radio transmission. Operations complete. Nuclear materials processing successful. Dawn timeline achieved. Requesting facility security clearance for equipment removal. Dawn timeline achieved. Nuclear materials processing complete, not weapons demonstration. Industrial uranium enrichment, plutonium processing, strategic materials production for authorized special operations requirements. Legal operations under compartmentalized authority, completed successfully despite facility security irregularities. 5 hours, 10 minutes, and 15 seconds. Emergency transponder final transmission. Strategic command assessment. Facility security officer exceeded authority. Special Operations Division personnel performed within authorized parameters. Investigation teams en route for security assessment, not nuclear emergency response. Security assessment. Not nuclear emergency, not unauthorized weapons, not facility contamination. Investigation of facility security officer threatening personnel during authorized compartmentalized operations. 5 hours, 10 minutes, and 42 seconds. Dr. Reeves completing medical assessment of radiation exposure. Facility personnel within safe parameters, environmental contamination minimal, nuclear materials processing conducted safely. Medical evaluation indicates proper safety procedures followed during nuclear operations. Radiation exposure within acceptable limits for facility personnel. Proper safety procedures. Legal operations. Authorized nuclear materials processing. We stumbled into compartmentalized operation, asked procedural questions about classified activities, triggered security response from officer without proper authority. 5 hours, 11 minutes, and 9 seconds. Sergeant Martinez securing scene for investigation team arrival. Hartley under medical care, facility personnel safe, level 3 operations contained. Sir, investigation teams estimate 0600 arrival for security assessment. Facility operations returning to normal status. Normal status. Nuclear emergency over, security threat contained, authorized operations complete. But permanent questions about compartmentalized protocols, facility oversight, security procedures for classified operations. How many other Special Operations Division projects operate inside strategic facilities without facility personnel knowledge? 5 hours, 11 minutes, and 36 seconds. Reviewing entire night through new understanding. Not conspiracy, not unauthorized weapons, not nuclear terrorism. Authorized nuclear materials processing, compartmentalized security, overzealous facility security officer threatening personnel with uncleared knowledge. Professional Special Operations mission, conducted legally but secretly, compromised by security irregularities and procedural violations. 5 hours 11 minutes and 53 seconds. Dr. Reeves packing medical equipment, radiation monitors, emergency supplies. Professional response complete, medical assessment finished, personnel safety ensured. Nuclear operations conducted within safety parameters. Facility personnel exposure minimal. Medical emergency protocols unnecessary. Unnecessary. 3 hours of terror, life-threatening situations, armed confrontations. All because facility security officer didn't understand compartmentalized operations protocols. 5 hours, 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Emergency transponder showing final status update. Facility secure. Personnel safe. Operations complete. Investigation proceeding. Classification review required for all facility personnel involved. Classification review. Security debriefing, information assessment, clearance evaluation for everyone who learned about special operations activities. Standard procedure for compartmentalized operations exposure, not punishment or containment. Professional administrative process for handling classified information disclosure. 5 hours, 12 minutes and 47 seconds. Sergeant Martinez completing security report for investigation team. Professional documentation, accurate timeline, objective assessment of security irregularities. Sir, Lieutenant Colonel Hartley exceeded authority, threatened facility personnel, violated protocols for compartmentalized operations security. Exceeded authority. Professional military assessment of security officer violating proper procedures during authorized operations. Constitutional duty fulfilled, facility personnel protected, national security preserved. 5 hours, 13 minutes and 14 seconds. First light visible through facility monitoring systems. Dawn arrived, operations timeline complete, nuclear materials processing successful. But dawn brings investigation teams, security assessment, classification review for facility personnel. Professional resolution to night of terror, procedural violations, security emergencies. 5 hours, 13 minutes and 41 seconds. Dr. Reeves' final medical assessment. Facility personnel psychologically traumatized but physically unharmed. Radiation exposure minimal. Medical treatment unnecessary but counseling recommended. Traumatized. 3 hours believing we faced nuclear terrorism, unauthorized weapons, facility destruction. Reality. Authorized operations, overzealous security, compartmentalized protocols we weren't supposed to know about. 5 hours, 14 minutes and 8 seconds. Sergeant Martinez final security report. Facility security maintained. Personnel protected. Authorized operations undisrupted. Security officer disciplinary action recommended. Professional military assessment. Security maintained despite internal threat from facility security officer exceeding authority. 5 hours, 14 minutes and 35 seconds. Emergency transponder final entry. Watch officer emergency log complete. Facility secure. Personnel safe. Investigation teams arriving. Classification review pending. Classification review. Administrative process for handling exposure to compartmentalized operations. Not punishment, not containment, not elimination. Professional security procedure for protecting classified information while ensuring personnel rights. Final timestamp, 5 hours, 15 minutes and 2 seconds. Status, facility secure. Nuclear operations complete, authorized. Personnel, safe, classification review pending. Investigation proceeding. Spent 3 hours believing I was protecting facility from nuclear terrorism. Reality. Stumbled into authorized operation. Triggered security response from officer who didn't understand compartmentalized protocols. No conspiracy. No unauthorized weapons. No facility destruction. Professional special operations mission conducted legally under compartmentalized authority. Compromised by security irregularities and procedural violations from facility personnel without proper clearance. But questions remain. How many compartmentalized operations occur without facility knowledge? What oversight ensures proper security procedures? How do we prevent future security officer violations? What happens to facility personnel with uncleared exposure? Nuclear materials processing complete. Facility secure. Personnel safe. But trust in facility security, compartmentalized operations, classification procedures permanently changed. Dawn brings investigation, not demonstration. Truth brings relief, not terror. Professional duty fulfilled, constitutional obligation met, facility personnel protected. Even when we didn't understand what we were protecting them from. End emergency log. Authentication, facility secure. Classification, pending review. Distribution, investigation teams only. Note, this log will undergo classification review. Personnel involved will receive appropriate security debriefing. Facility operations will return to normal following investigation completion.